And then did you at some point get into martial arts?
I did.
To talk about how that came into your life.
So my brothers were taking martial arts. They're much older than I am. I was little, and I remember this really exotic man coming in what I didn't know what it was at the time, but in his gi with his black belt that was all almost white because it was so he had it for
Right.
like 50 years.
Right.
And he came in and he would teach my brothers karate, and I said, I'm going to do that when I'm older. I made up my mind, I'm going to be able to do this. And then when I was 26, I found the same instructor.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't as old as I thought he was. Because when you're little,
right.
someone who's 40 looks like,
oh, absolutely.
like an old man. So
yeah.
I went to him. And he said, yes, I remember your family, and I remember, and so he helped me, and I started my karate there, and it was fantastic. It was the beginning of 15 years of really hardcore martial arts. I couldn't get enough of it. So
really?
Then the fitness was really amped up, and it was every day. I had to train every single day.
What is training for martial arts, especially if I remember you got to a pretty competitive level, right?
I did.
So what's training for martial arts at that level? What does some of that entail?
So I was training every single day, usually. When I started, I was going once a day, every single day. And then I moved to Los Angeles and I went 3 times a day.
Wow.
So I was going to the morning class, I was going to the lunchtime class, and the evening class.
Okay.
And I was training with some amazing instructors and with a huge lineage. I was training with, I don't know if anybody out there knows Nishiyama Sensei. I was training with Nishiyama Sensei and Avi Rokach when I was living in California.
These are some of the top names in the karate game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I also trained here, and I was always trying to go to 2 classes a day. I would try to go to lunchtime and dinner time. And of course, after I had children, that changed. But I was always, and then I was part of the Mountain States team that went to nationals. So we were doing Sunday team practices. Thank God my husband was like, "You go, girl." He was really supportive and wonderful, and my kids were cool. And
let's take time to shout out Jack, right?
yes, Jack.
Awesome.
Yay, Jack, and Yay, my instructor here, Sensei Yaguchi, amazing man, and then Toronto Sensei was Sensei Soroka, who has since passed away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just how high did you kind of get in your competition level?
So I was competing at nationals, and we came in. I was part of a team, kata team, and we came in 3rd in
Okay.
U.S. nationals.
Nice.
And I went to nationals for several years, but one year when I thought I was going to have my best year because I was in the best shape of my life, I broke my big toe a month before nationals, and in like 3 places, and it was so hard. I still won 2 rounds, but I couldn't make it I couldn't continue on
right.
because the pain. I couldn't. The mental. I know that there's people who compete with broken limbs. I just couldn't do the kata with a big broken toe that was still.
And well, now I think you and I too know now how important the big toe is in life. Literally, like it is so incredibly important to life in general. So it's kind of a full circle moment, right?
My gosh, you never realize it until you don't have it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what's interesting? I've just recently, in the last few months, gotten into martial arts.
Yes.
I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it's been one of the best things. And what I love about it is, to be out there and competitive, not even at a super high level, but just with your peers or whatever. I've noticed that I have to do a little bit different stuff in my life. I have to make sure that I am getting good nutrients to be strong to go against these guys. I have to make sure I'm getting good sleep. And so I'm finding that I really have to focus on nourishing my body, mind, and soul to be part of jiu-jitsu, and it's kind of been this really nice circle of like, man, I feel so good doing this. I know I need to keep doing all these things, and so I just think the martial arts is a great vehicle for a lot of people to kind of get that idea of being healthy and competing and
also,
the exercise.
Don't you find that when you do martial arts, it is so all-consuming that everything else, all the noise in your life disappears.
It's crazy how quiet it is amongst the chaos, right?
Yes, and then all you're doing is focusing on that task, whatever that task is in the moment.
Oh yeah.
it is just transformative and transcendent.
Oh,
You
unbelievable.
transcend because you are absolutely zeroed in and living in the moment, which is really what life should be about,
have
which
to
is
be.
being in the moment. And we're so distracted, and we're going here and we're going there, and we're thinking about what we're gonna make for dinner, and that we have to go do this and make this phone call. And really, being present and being in the moment is really what it's about. And martial arts really helped me zero in on that and experience it.
You almost get into like when you're really into it, it's almost meditative or something in the sense that you are able amongst this, it's because it's chaos when you think about it, but you're able to be slow and still in it when you start to get at the higher levels. And that's one thing in jiu-jitsu they teach you, especially because we're grappling, so we're on the ground a lot. So you're at the bottom underneath people, right? And that's claustrophobic, and one of the biggest things they teach you is like, if you're down there against a big guy who's been doing this for years, you probably aren't gonna have a ton of success getting out. Work on being calm and breathing down there.
Yes.
And I found that such a great metaphor for life, because life will knock you on your ass. It'll be a big black belt laying on you sometimes, right? And it's like, sometimes all you can do is find a way to breathe and be calm.
Yes.
You know, and find your breath, and then figure out how can I get out of this tough position. And if that's submitting, getting up to get back on the mat for the next round, and that's such life too, you know. And so I find a lot of parallels of being in an adverse situation like combat, and then where you can take that to real life. Like, life's gonna try to punch you and kick you, and it's gonna do it
and having
all the time.
Quiet, like what you're saying is so true. When the big 250-pound guy is lying on top of you and you are not going to have the strength, you have to have such calmness, and it's in the calm that you can actually be a creative thinker. It's in the present moment. If you're thinking in the past or you're thinking about the future, you are tethered.
Yep.
You are held up and locked down by those cords those energetic cords are tugging on you, whether
much.
you're past or future. But if you're in the present moment and you're breathing and you're calm, that's when your real, true creative mind can come out.
100%. You know what? Yesterday I had a really great kind of real life experience. I had kind of a rough little emotional couple hours yesterday, and I saw something and it really hit me and was bothering me. And so I called up, or I texted one of my jiu-jitsu friends, was like, "You want to meet me at the mats?" And we went for about 45 minutes of just hardcore, so much fun. But when I left, like,
Purged.
And I was so in that moment of just trying to, and this guy whoops my butt all the time. He's bigger, faster, stronger, younger, more experienced, but I love that. And it was such, when I got done, I was like, whatever that worry was, this brought me so centered and so much in the moment. And then I was having so much fun, you know? And I think that's a really important part, is to have fun with it.